Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm going to be talking about Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. This was a very difficult book to finish. I have so many issues with it that, I'm going to have to take a deep breath and try to explain them. So, what is the book about? David Goggins is a Navy SEAL, an ultra marathoner. He's, by any definition, has done a lot of extraordinary things. He's, a beast. So all of my comments on his book are absolutely not about what he's actually done. That's amazing, really good for him. But I have so many issues with the book. And I don't really get it. Like on Goodreads, it's actually really well rated. So apparently a lot of people are thinking that this is super inspiring. So, maybe give it a try. Don't listen to what I'm gonna say. I'll start with the, small issues and then slowly get to the big elephant in the room. So the first issue is I didn't like the language being used. He used the F word like so many times and he called everyone motherfuckers. Like, I don't care for that. Like, just use them sparsely to really put your point across, but you don't have to use those words every time. Okay, maybe for some people that's not gonna be a problem. Maybe it's just me. Second issue. The book was extremely sexist. The language used, again, it's very much the very typical, you need to man up. And I fully understand that Navy SEALs might be talking like that it's part of the culture, that the Navy SEAL trainers, have to yell those sort of things at the trainee. Fine, okay, use those metaphors for this chapter. But when you're talking about ultra marathons afterwards, do you really have to keep going at it? I'm going to paraphrase here because I listened to the audiobook, so I can't, I don't want to listen to it again to remember the exact passage. But he was basically saying, because he was getting weak and he was in pain, that he was a wimpy bitch and that he had to find a way to get rid of his vagina. How is that okay to write in a book? Like, come on. But okay, maybe some people, don't really care about that. Fine. The main issue of the book is that it is very much trying to preach a philosophy that I absolutely disagree with. He's basically using his experience to, push himself and go through pain as the way for success. So once again, what he's achieved is amazing. So I don't want to take that away from him. That's not the point. And actually, if the book had only been about him just laying out what he's done and how he's achieved it, that would be fine. But the book is actually preaching, a certain way of going about finding this success. He is putting little challenges at the end of each chapter. He's encouraging people to share their stories on Twitter with certain hashtags. And the problem is that he is pushing for a philosophy that I find actually quite deeply troubling. It's very much, if you want to be successful, you have to go through a lot of pain. You have to push yourself. If you never push yourself, you're weak. And there is at no moment a sort of reflection on your mental health as well. Basically, his definition of success is just being as uncommon as possible. And he takes extreme pride in, having all those feats under his belt and being able to say, I'm the only one that has done this. I'm the only one who can do this. And I'm the only one who has pushed itself through this amount of pain. And I'm the only one who has run a marathon with a broken leg. Great. I mean, that's amazing for him, but I don't think you should actually preach these kind of things to other people. And I take like a really big issue with one thing that is not actually in the book, it's in the audiobook. So in the audiobook, he's chosen to do a bit of a weird format where his co-author actually narrates the book, and then from time to time they take a break and they actually discuss in more depth some of the ideas that are in the book. I really didn't care for this format, by the way. I wouldn't recommend the audiobook. I would just read the book if you're interested to give it a try. I don't recommend it either. But in the audiobook, in one of these segments, he's basically talking about how some people are making money out of people's weakness, and he's referring to coaches in particular, life coach, personal trainers, that are making money because some people can't necessarily achieve their goal by themselves, and so they're paying someone to hold them accountable, which to me sounds absolutely fine. The best athletes have coaches. But he thinks that's just, a way to prey on weakness. Fine, again, different philosophy. But he also compares having a coach with having a therapist. And I was shocked when I heard that. It's just the most ridiculous thing you can say to your audience, especially when you have that kind of platform, because he has like a lot of followings on Instagram and everything. Yeah, he basically believed that going to see a therapist is showing a sign of weakness and not being able to deal by yourself with your issues. Some people will say it's not in the book, but I'm sorry, it's in the audiobook. I'm listening to it. That's part of his philosophy. That's how the guy actually thinks about, how to get stronger. And this idea of like, just man up and, stop being weak, without never, by the way, explaining how you're supposed to go about that. Basically, the book is just showing what he's gone through and then saying like, you can do the same thing, just be strong, like mentally strong to push through the pain. And also, it was really annoying to read about like his feat when he was so unprepared. Like a lot of the time, what he's managed to achieve was basically him like throwing himself into like a really, really, really dangerous situation, coming out alive and, being quite lucky, to be honest. He could have easily like being crippled. Like he basically ran for a really long time with like broken bones and stuff like that. Like I, again, have no issue with what he does with his life. He does whatever he wants. But I have an issue when he's starting to preach that way of looking at life. People can do whatever they want. Like if they are struggling with something, they can go see a coach, they can go see a therapist. He should go see a therapist. Like, come on, the guy is on his third marriage. He admits in the book that he doesn't have a lot of friends because he doesn't really believe in wasting your time on social endeavors. He just basically is so focused on performance. And I felt like really bad for him. I honestly, he spends the beginning of the book explaining about his very, very challenging and difficult upbringing. And so what he has achieved, again, is amazing, especially when you consider his difficult upbringing, right? But honestly, that just made me think throughout the whole book, like, this guy needs a therapist. Like, he needs to go see someone and talk that through, because what he's doing is absolutely not healthy. And so I found it really weird that so many people are really into this book and find it inspiring. Like, I just felt sad for the guy. I don't understand. Anyway, I'm gonna stop with the rant. I don't recommend the book. It's really well rated on Goodreads, so apparently it works to inspire some people. So maybe give it a try and let me know what you think in the comment. Bye bye.